Okay, I've been watching like some stuff on Jews within the last couple of days. I've been noticing, like there's like some discrepancies, regarding God. And I get the impression that it's the best pullover job possible, like I think the snake, as in Satan. As I say, justice goes two ways with the sword, whether it's inverted or the right way up. Satan has actually said to me, like I've done a real good job on these people. And I think I don't like Jews being, made a fool of, and I've been noticing things like the Wailing Wall, like the way they're thrusting at the wall and stuff like that, like there's some perversion that's crept into like their rituals. And like I've been seeing Jews circumcised with their mouths, like indicating a blowjob. What else? Yeah, so it's like circumcision. Masonic style rituals, like where they tie that box to their arm and things like that, like leaving one sort of shoulder open with their jackets, particularly with a marriage I saw yesterday. Which is very Masonic. Hair cutting and replacing it with a wig. I watched this woman, she looked more sexually sort of alluring with the wig than without it. So, like they say something like it keeps your sexuality or something inwards, but, she obviously became trannified. So, like again, there's like... these are like Brooklyn ones that I'm watching. So the good and proper ones that which are usually poor, by the way. I've noticed are very close to what Christians are like. They're like trace accurate. They don't swallow all that sort of modern world ideology. But I mean, it's like very counterproductive. Like they do all these rituals to be closer to God, and then like it's almost like the tradition sort of overrides their minds, like, and like I've seen them in the synagogue, like passing all these weird phallus looking objects and touching it, and like kind of doing stuff to techno beats. Now I don't think there's anything wrong with techno, but like their Jewish music, so it's almost been like it's been perverted from within. I think like the snake has got in there somewhere, and I think like Freemasonry has a lot to do with it. So I think they're kind of taking the piss from the inside out, and I think there's a lot of people in Jewish tradition that are not aware of it, and like they're more for the rituals, the ritual minded, rather than actually having a relationship with God and actually noticing what's happening to them, which is something that Christianity is like kind of cool with, and God doesn't see them as separate. He see, as I say in like previous videos, like the Bible is as the Torah, like in his eyes. So, like, as I say, like he said something about like he intervened. He was an interceder, like in the Jewish line, and he stopped it at that point because of, like whitewashed tombs, so they like follow the law, blindly, and like they are not initiated, like with actually watching what's actually happening to them, like they're more of a tradition. And like I've noticed, like with the attitudes, they're just like robots, really, like I'm not saying all Jews are like this, as I know, as just says, I think the ones that are most closer to the ground, a bit like organic veg, like the most salt-worthy kind. If they're poor, like they're probably following God to the letter. What was it? As I say, there's a lot of snake rituals kind of turning up in it, and I don't like seeing Jews represented that way. God's very hurt about it because I can feel, like it's bad. So, like Jews, please review what you're doing, like rather than have a kind of ritual mindedness with your traditions, kind of sort it out, like from, the First Testament, or, the main, you know, Torah, you know, first part of the Bible, Old Testament, that's it, can't remember. So, you know, I'll just leave you with that. I don't really like seeing Jews represented that way. Thank you.